Hey guys, can you believe it's almost time for summer to start? Just a couple more weeks and it'll be here before we know it. So let's talk about our homeschool summer plans. Guys, it's time to talk about our summer plans, but before we do, I just want to let you know that this video is part of a collaboration that I'm doing with some other homeschooling YouTubers. It was started by Stephanie at Schulte Sweeties, so if you want to go check her out, I'll drop a link down below. Also, I'll drop a link to the playlist down below so you can see what everybody else is doing for their summer homeschool plans. I want to start off by saying that I'm a firm believer that homeschool is a mindset. It doesn't really end. I don't intend for it to end just because it's summer. However, I do anticipate our summers homeschooling to look a little different. You know, Arlo's still young. He just turned 3, so we're not even full-on homeschooling yet. We will probably start this fall, but in the meantime, like with a curriculum and that sort of thing, but in the meantime, we are always homeschooling. You know, we are always working towards new experiences and learning new things, and that doesn't stop just because it's summer. However, I do want Arlo to have a little bit of that summer magic that I had as a kid. I honestly, growing up, I always felt like summer was the most magical time. It was my favorite. And I feel like I learned more during the summers than I ever did in school. It was more formative for me. And my family, they worked on a pipeline, so we traveled a lot, especially in the summers. We would always be off in a different state, and so while we were there, my mom and my grandma would take us to museums and little hole-in-the-wall like attractions, like the world's biggest ball of twine sort of situation, you know, or, you know, just whatever was around where we were, national parks. And so that is how we learned a lot of things during the summer. And my grandma was always teaching us things too. She was really great about that. And honestly, I think that that was my first, even though we didn't call it that, that was my first experience with homeschool, was the things my grandma would teach me. And that's what I want for Arlo, and I want some of that summer magic for him. So while a lot of our days are going to look exactly the same as they did before, you know, because A, we don't have the kind of job where we can travel all the time, and B, because, you know, there are some things that are built into our schedule that aren't going away just because it's summer. We will still have forest school on Wednesdays. And then there are going to be a few other things for school-wise, you know, other sessions that we will go to. But we will still have forest school every Wednesdays, and Arlo's still going to have therapy that he has to go to. So he'll still have occupational therapy on Mondays and occupational and speech therapy on Wednesdays. So we'll be going to both of those. So in that sense, our summers and our summer routine is not going to change. However, how I want to kind of give Arlo some of that summer magic, even though he's not like on break from school, and make summer feel like a different time, is by changing up how we do things a little bit. And one is we are going to get outside, so much outside time, as much as I can cram in, before it gets too hot. It is Oklahoma, and it gets hot here during the summers. Sometimes, 110 degrees, and the humidity will be 80-87% routinely. It is muggy, it is hot, it is not pleasant for anyone in the heat of the summer, the worst part of the summer. But we also have memberships to the zoo and memberships to the local children's museum. So those will be good options when it's super hot out, because the zoo has a whole bunch of inside buildings that we can just stick to those. And obviously the children's museum is inside as well. I also want to kind of have some traditions that we do each summer. So, and I'll talk more about my end of, I'm not going to call it end of school year because we're not ending it, but our beginning of summer traditions really is what I'm going to call it. I will talk more about that in another video collaboration I'm doing in a couple weeks. But other traditions that I want us to do are going to be like some of the small town festivals around here are really fun. I'd like to get to those. The place where I'm from, Fort Gibson, has a sweet corn festival every year. I'd like us to go to that this summer. And then I want us to take some sort of family camping trip or vacation. It's hard to work that with Morgan's schedules right now. He is currently the only one in his department and has been for a little while. They haven't hired somebody to kind of relieve him and give him days off yet. So he works Monday through Saturday, which makes it really hard to get any kind of family trip. But I'm hoping at the very least, maybe we can take a small camping trip that's just like overnight somewhere. I would ideally like to get a few more days off so that we could maybe go to Houston and see Morgan's brother and sister-in-law and our niece Mila. They moved to Houston last fall, so we haven't got down there yet, and that would be a really fun trip to take and be a vacation for us. But I'd like to have something like that every year, whether it be camping or a small vacation. So I want to start that, and it may just be, like I said, overnight somewhere, Lake Uval or something, but I would like to do that. And then we are just going to do some fun summer activities. Like we're going to do bug catching because I got Arlo a bug catching kit. We're going to, when we see wildflowers, we're going to stop and identify some wildflowers, learn about them, maybe collect a few to press in our flower press that we got. I was thinking maybe we do popsicle making because we've got some cute popsicle molds, that sort of stuff. And then one big tradition that we started last year that we're going to do again this year is blueberry picking. Arlo loved it. So this year for blueberry picking, we will do, we will read a little bit. This is kind of a longer book, so we'll probably read a little bit throughout the week that we do blueberry picking, but it's called Blueberries for Sal. A friend of mine, April, gave this to us. And she said she loved doing it with her littles when they were small and she was homeschooling them. And it is a Caldecott honor book. So I've looked through it and it looks really cute. So we're going to do that with our blueberry picking. And then June for Pride, we are going to, we're going to hand out waters at the Pride Parade with our church. But I think we'll probably do a few lessons about equality and that sort of thing that same week that we do Pride. And we're going to read this book, Neither. You guys, this is the sweetest, cutest book. And we actually, our local library had a bin with free books in it, and somebody had donated a bunch of these for Pride last year, and we picked this one up, and it's just so sweet. It's It's about this little bird bunny guy who doesn't fit in because he's not, you know, he's not this or he's not that. You know, he's not a bunny, he's not a bird. He's both. But all the bunnies and the birds tell him that he can't be both, so he must be neither. And then it just goes through his journey to acceptance and finding his family and finding a place where he belongs, you know, where everyone belongs. The land of all is what they call it. And it's where there are so many different kinds of animals, and it's just a really beautiful book. And so I want to do like a small unit study on that for Pride Week. Other than that, we probably won't do any unit studies. I did find this book a while back at a thrift store, and we'll probably do some activities out of it. It's called I Saw a Purple Cow. Now, it is very 60s, you guys. Let me see if I can find when it was published. It's by Ann Cole, Carol Haas, Faith Bushnell, and Betty Weinberger. And it was published, I was close, it was 1972. But it's got some really cool, it's all full of activities. It's called I Saw a Purple Cow and 100 Other Recipes for Learning. And some of these are a little dated, for sure. I saw one that I was like, what? Be a switchboard operator. I don't think they exist anymore anywhere. So I'm not sure a little kid would get that, but there are lots of crafts you can make in here. Rock creatures, print a pattern, finger symbols, a rainy day walk in the house. Lots of fun things that I think I'll try to pick some of these out of there to do with Arlo this summer. And then let's see. Sorry, I made notes. Another thing that we're going to do is a lot of splash pad time. There is a splash pad not far from our house, and it's a good way to cool off. It's a cute little splash pad, and it is also right in the same park that the nature preserve we do for forest schools is. So we will probably start going, especially when it starts getting really hot, because we're going to meet at 10 a.m. but nobody really will come if we do much earlier than that, but we want to try to do it early in the day because it does get hot. But my plan is to bring our splash pad clothes and we can go run in the splash pad after for school to cool off. For school, we are going to have a few lake days. We're going to have one a month instead of some of our other sessions, so that it's not so hot, so that we can beat the heat and still be outside with nature and getting, you know, socialization with our friends and that sort of thing. So that's it, guys. That is our plan for the summer, and I'm excited about it. I love summer. It is my favorite. I also want to take some field trips with Arlo. There's a little like pioneer village nearby I'd like to go to, a few small museums. I'd like to get him to the Tulsa Air and Space Museum, so we'll see what we can do with that sort of thing as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Definitely go check out Schulte Sweeties and the playlist down below with all the other homeschool summer plans. And if you guys like these videos and you want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. And then drop a comment down below and let me know what you guys are doing for summer. And we'll see you guys later.